Alright everyone, today we're going to be making a shockwave script. On the screen right now, you'll see the finished result. Right here, I have my models. We're going to be using these. Right now, I put them in the folder. The model will be in the description below. So, once you have the models, you have to put them in replicated storage. Now, we insert a script into starter character scripts. So basically what starter character scripts is basically a place where if you put a script in there, the script will be inserted into the player once they're in the game. Firstly, we're going to make an event. But before we make that event, we have to make a service called UIS. So basically what UIS, or user input service, is the user's input in the game. What I mean by that is if the user presses a key, like for example X or Y, the user actually, it triggers the game to know that the user clicked that button, and you can do an event on that. What this event means is that once the input has began on the UIS, remember the input we were talking about earlier, it triggers an event. So basically what this line means is that if the input was the key code E or the key E, then we do whatever's in this line of code. So right here, we are going to be playing the animation, setting the cooldown for it, and firing the remote event. I will explain the remote event in the description. Not in the description, in the following, sorry. Okay, let's get started with the animation. Now for the animation, doesn't really have to be anything too complicated. I'll just do a really lazy one. Once you created your animation, you're gonna wanna set the priority to idle. We're gonna name this punch shockwave, just so it's organized. Anyway, you want to copy this little link right here, and that will be very useful later. Control C. And we're not going to be using this dummy later, so you can just delete it. Okay, so now that that's done, we have to insert an animation. We have to insert an animation into the script. This animation's name ID will be the link we just copied. And we can name it whatever we want. I'll just name it punch. So we have to identify this. So we're going to make a variable on this punch thing. You can name this variable anything you want. It just identifies the punch that we have here. Okay, let me explain this line right here. Here we're identifying the punch. We already know that. And what you might be wondering why I would identify the humanoid or the character. Basically, what the humanoid is like the root of all block rigs or like humans. It's in everything. Without the humanoid, a player isn't a player. It's just a brick. And the humanoid needs a lot of time to load since it's really complicated. And once we have that humanoid, we load an animation into that humanoid, and we load the animation we just did, the punch animation. But since the punch hasn't loaded yet, we also have to use wait for child here, since it hasn't loaded yet. Okay, let's begin to play the punch animation. Punch, it's as simple as this. Play. punch play. Not really too complicated. Okay, now let's make a little thing called a remote event. What a remote event does is does something in the server. When something is done in the server, everybody sees it. The reason we have remote events now is to prevent hackers from hacking the game. Now to use a remote event, you just have to fire it. Let's just type script.remote-event fire server. That just activates the event. And when the event is fired, the script below the event remote event has to know that this has been fired. So there's a special event for that. Script.onParent.onServerEvent connect function player. So server scripts do not know what the player is since they're everywhere, and they do not know what the player is. They're not connected to everything since local scripts are mainly connected to a player. So when you fire it, the player gets transferred through the remote event. That's why remote events are so useful. Okay, once this script has been fired, we have to do something with it, right? So this is where our little shockwave model comes in that we made earlier. So I named these really specially. Around char means around character. Around char 2 means around the character. They're just really little effects that will go around the character. And smash is the main like smash thing that goes forwards. And the ring is another effect. Okay. Since there's only one of these, we need to clone them and put them in a player since everybody's going to be using it. So we type game.replicatedStorage.smash. The smash is the thing we named here. And we have to make it a variable so it knows the script knows how to identify it. Local shockwave equals game.replicatedStorage.smash, the thing we have here. Clone. So basically what this cloning thing does is it clones it. Now that we have cloned it, we have to clone all the other ones. Local ring equals game.replicatedStorage.smash.ring. You may be wondering what these dots are. They basically go into the game. From the game, which is basically the above workspace. There's the workspace, the players, the lighting, the replicated first, the replicated storage, and everything else. And then into the replicated storage, there's smash, and then there's the big smash, or the ring. So the dot is just used to go in, or identify them. We also have to clone this ring. Make sure you use capital, like I didn't do. Once you've cloned the ring, you're gonna clone all the other ones. Or you can just copy what I'm typing. Okay, now that we've cloned everything, we have to, the game doesn't know where to put all those clones. So, what we're gonna do is place the first clone in the workspace. We don't have to type local anymore because we're not making a variable. So the shockwave's parent, which is the thing it's in, is the workspace. The workspace is everything that you can see. The base plate, all the parts in the workspace. See, if I insert a part, it automatically goes in the workspace. And that's cool. Okay, once we've put the shockwave in the workspace, what we do is we have to make an animation for the shockwave. So how we do that is we use a little something called tween service. Tween service makes any animations. So we have to identify it because it's a service, we do game get service. Tween service, which is the name of the service. Now this surface has multiple functions, but we're only going to use it to move the parts and make them a bit bigger. TS. We make a new tween. So with this tween that we created, what do we use? We use the shockwave. So we have this shockwave, and what are we going to tween it? How are we going to tween it? And what is the shockwave's position? It's not just going to be a random position in the workspace. So we're going to position this according to the player's humanoid brute part, which is basically the player's main part and where it is. Basically the position where it is. Shockwave.cframe. C-frame means coordinate frame. Coordinate frame. It's the orientation or rotation of the object and the position of it. So the shockwave C-frame is player.character.humanoid root part.cframe plus the look vector is which way it's looking. Without the look vector, the shockwave will look like it's flying everywhere. It won't, trust me, it won't look very nice. So now that we have that down, let's delete this tween service for now. Let's see how this looks so far. So I used the user input service key E, right? So we're gonna press E, and it faces the right direction. Now we just need to animate this. To animate it, that's where the tween comes in. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Okay. Once we finished creating the tween, we have to make tween info. What tween info is the time of the tween. And the animation. We're not going to make a special animation. We're just going to make it 4 seconds. And the third column is what we're going to be doing to the tween. What we're going to be doing to the tween is very important because it's the actual animation. Okay, so the transparency, or if it's visible, will be 1. This means that it's completely invisible by the time the tween is done, which is 4 seconds. And the position is greater than the position we just made, which is the position of the humanoid root part. So we're going to multiply that 20 by placing this multiplying symbol and 20. Or maybe 30, just for safe measures. Okay, now that we finished the actual tween, we get to play it. Okay, back. Found out what I did wrong. I did not do the tween info properly. And you have to put the coordinate frame first before the transparency. Make sure you guys don't make the same mistake as I did. Okay, if we play the game, it should work great now. Now we can see that we pressed E and it looks amazing. Now, time for the other effects. For the other effects, it's just the same deal. If you want, you can just copy and paste this line, like these lines like I did. Now we can just replace this with ring, since the ring is also in front of the player. The ring's coordinate frame is the humanoid root part's coordinate frame. But for this time, we do not change the position of the ring, since it just gets bigger. Instead of this, we change the size instead of the coordinate frame. To find out the size that we want, we take our current smash and we change the size to however big we want it to grow. I'm going to change my size like this. Now you just put the smash back in there, and you paste in your new size. Make sure to put vector 3 dot new, or else it won't work. Vector 3 means anything with 3 dimensions, like a part. It has 3 dimensions. This part has 3 dimensions. Okay, now we can test our thing, and it should work fine. Oh, the size doesn't change. How could this happen? Let's see why. I forgot to change it from shockwave to ring. That's what happens. Okay, let's see what happens when I changed this from shockwave to ring. It should work perfectly. See? That works great. Okay, now that we've done that, we have to make the other shockwaves, the other 2 shockwaves. Around character and around character 2. I'm just going to change it back to this AC2. I did some editing and I accidentally messed that up. Okay, around character and around character 2, or AC2 and AC, are really convenient because we don't really have to do a lot of positioning or size to them, because they're always going to be at the feet of the players. Okay, so let's start with around character. For this, we can also just copy paste our animation script. The parent of AC is the workspace. Its C-frame is the humanoid root part.C-frame. But we must change this. Since the position of the AC will be at our feet, we need to change it to 0, 1, 0. The second dimension that I've chosen is up and down. The other 2 we won't have to worry about for now. Okay, for this we just have to change the size. Again, we go into Smash, and we select our around char 2, and we just make it bigger how we want it. And then we copy and paste that size, and make sure to reverse everything after you're done. So you will see the animation happen. Okay. So we paste our new size in, and this should work perfectly. Except I forgot to change this from ring to AC. Again, you have to remember to always change that. Okay, let's test it now. This is what we use the output for. Attempts to call global vector 3. So I forgot to put new, because we need to make a new one, vector 3 position, instead of just plain vector 3. I cannot explain this, but you will have to do it in order for this to work. Now this should work now. Yep. I would put this half a stud higher to make it look better. Okay, let's test this now. Okay, that works perfectly. Now for the second AC, we can just do the same thing, since it's basically just another shockwave around the character. So you just paste in AC2, 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 and this should work fine. Now this is where I'm wrong. It spreads out, and we don't want that. So, again, we have to customize our new shockwave. You size it to a bigger size, and then you copy the size again. For some reason, I can't seem to find the size. Okay, found it. Now remember to reverse everything to how it was by pressing Control C around Z around 4 times. Or how many ever times it takes you. Now we paste in our new size into the size thingy, and we play our game. Now, this should be finished. See how nice that looked? That's how yours should look like. Make sure to check your output for any errors like I have. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.